attention to sexual and reproductive health needs of young girls. In the Gambia, commemorations are marked in the form of a march past and discussions in spreading the message across. Globally, sexual and reproductive health problems remains the leading cause of death for women of childbearing age. According to population officials, many women die every day in the process of giving life.
Statistics have also shown that globally about 16 million girls aged 15 to 19 give birth each year. In most of these cases, of course, the girl is already married. Records further show that complications from pregnancy and childbirth continue to be the leading causes of death among adolescent girls aged 15 to 19 years in many developing countries. For example, sub-Saharan Africa continues to have the highest adolescent birth rate, that is 120 births per 1,000 women aged 15 to 19, with little progress since 2000.
The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Dr. Isatou Saidy, further stated that child marriage put girls at risk of early and unwanted pregnancies and sometimes posing life-threatening consequences. It is projected that if the present trend continues, a staggering number of 142 million girls will be married by their 18th birthday.
Over the years, the Gambia has demonstrated its commitment to all charters, protocols, conventions, as well as international agreements that advance the agenda of providing comprehensive sexual and reproductive health and rights for all young people and meaningfully engaging them at all levels of decision-making as well.
Madam Njie Saidy reiterated Gambia government's commitment to creating the enabling environment for the socio-economic development of women and girls.
Under the dynamic and pragmatic leadership of His Excellency the President, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Njie Cham, a lot of progress has been registered in addressing gender inequality, inequity, and the empowerment of women and girls, vis-a-vis the implementation, for example, of the Beijing Platform for Action and its 12 critical areas of concern, as well as the International Conference on Population and Development Program of Action, and other international conventions, agreements, and protocols.
In a separate but similar statement, the Food and Agriculture Organization's country representative in the Gambia, Dr. Babagana Ahmadu, said sensitive topics like this one requires global attention and called for proactive advocacy for health education and the rights of the girl child through their teenage years as a means of empowering them to decide when they wish to become mothers.
To address these problems, we must get girls into primary schools and enable them to receive a good education through their adolescence. When a young girl is educated, she is more likely to marry later, delay childbearing until she is ready, have healthier children, and earn a higher income.
Experts say the fight against adolescent pregnancy does not only stop at the implementation of international and national protocols, but also using culturally acceptable approaches for sustainable programs. And according to the Vice President, government will not relent in its efforts to invest and harness the potentials of young people, especially the girls, to contribute their quota to sustainable national development. Mama Njie, Grts.
A number of community-based organizations, non-governmental organizations, and other bodies have received grants amounting to $3.8 million. The funds earmarked for the initiatives dealing with democracy, human rights, and grassroots programs were provided by the U.S. Embassy in Banjul. Our Samuel Ba has the details.
Grants surpassing $3.8 million to 15 non-charitable organizations operating in the country. As the ambassador emphasized, the grant, which includes the Ambassador Special Fund, the Democracy and Human Rights Fund, as well as the Julia Taft Refugee Fund, shows the USA's commitment to partnering with their Gambian counterparts in addressing exigent social issues.
Let me start by welcoming you to the American Center for today's joint signing ceremony of our three common and regular grants, namely the Ambassador Self-Help Fund, the Democracy and Human Rights Fund, and the Julia Taft Refugee Fund. The signing of these projects clearly demonstrates the embassy's and the U.S. government's commitment to working with the Gambia on democracy, human rights, and on other community development and livelihood issues.
Ranging from $713 for internet connections in Bakware Annex Lower Basic School to $13,736 designed for the provision of farming tools and HIV/AIDS training for the Gambia Red Cross Society. The grants, as mentioned by the ambassador, are no one-way traffic. Ambassador Alford further related how the preceding schemes like this one funded by his consulate have availed women the right resources to feed their families.
Because of these projects, many women no longer have to spend hours of labor just to feed their families. They now have time for other activities, enabling them to provide more food for their families, focusing on additional means to earn money, and to provide further education for their children. I am confident that your communities will experience the same type of benefits. However, these projects are not a one-way street.
Representatives of groups from each category of grants spoke on the event. Among them was Neneh Cham of the Gambia Female Lawyers Association, who thanked the embassy for delivering a well-timed grant.
As NGOs, we strive to complement the efforts of the government, and I know I am speaking for all the groups in this section, promoting the right to food as a few fundamental human rights, paralegal training, which is what FLAG will be doing to enhance access to justice, creating awareness of legal instruments, which Gambia Teachers Union will be doing, and using performing arts as tool for democracy, which is a Mani Mori Foundation, and Pamoja promoting active participation in local government. I think we agree that all these projects are very worth.
Cham was joined by the Refugee Program Manager of the Gambia Red Cross Society, who doubly hailed government's efforts in integrating refugees in the country.
The government of the Gambia is encouraging very well to integrate refugees into the communities. And I think today we are witnessing signing a ceremony to support refugees to be self-reliant, access to water, to be self-dependent when it comes to income-generating activities. I think this is key in supporting refugees to be self-reliant in order to support the initiative of the government to maintain integration within the community.
The beneficiaries of these 3 grants did not only design their own projects, but also contributed towards the implementation of their programs, which greatly attracted the donors. The U.S. ambassador, however, urged the beneficiaries to forge a cooperative partnership in order to fully realize their aims and objectives.
This signing ceremony marks the beginning of our partnership. But we have many miles to go. We will need to continue this relationship and develop this relationship to bring the projects to a successful conclusion.
It is undeniable that development as an ongoing process cannot be entirely left to government. Helping non-charitable organizations is solely one way to complement endeavors shaping national improvements, and the U.S. Embassy definitely needs to be extolled for the well-timed initiative. Samuel Ba, GRTS.
A consultative forum convened by the Association of Non-Governmental Organizations in the Gambia has been discussing means of promoting accountability, legitimacy, and sustainability in the NGO sector. GRTS's Abdullah Baji picks up the rest of that story.
As crucial catalyst of development. The Association of Non-Governmental Organizations in the Gambia convened a consultative forum on the role of NGOs in national development, with special focus on accountability, legitimacy, and sustainability. Attracting scores of NGOs in the country, the forum is expected to map out devices to enabling NGOs to operate meaningfully and impact on the lives of people. Looking directly at leadership issues, the convergence supported by the UNDP call attention to the integral role UN agencies play, particularly in aiding NGOs meet the demands of the masses they serve.
We have always argued that the UNDP or the UN system in the Gambia should be a resource